Hello and welcome to another episode of the Appelboom Bites podcast. Today is episode number 32, and today is a really special episode because it's the first episode with the one and only Douglas Rathbun as our co-host. Welcome, Douglas. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm wonderful. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for asking me. Of course, at my age, I'm thrilled to be anywhere. But I'm not.
It's,
I'm not
it's
sure I want to be part of a club that would have someone like me on it. But
No, come on,
anyway.
come on, come on, come on, come on. It's early for you. It's early for you. You're really, starting the day. So let's keep it
Yeah.
positive. Uh,
Yeah.
and, our first guest is quite a unique guest because it's the one and only Vondrasek. Michael, welcome on the podcast. And it's amazing to see you now, here on my laptop screen. Wow, yesterday we hugged. And
True.
it's great. It's great. It's great. How are you doing?
Very well. We arrived at 4 o'clock in the morning due
Lovely.
to some traffic with the trains and all that, and we lost some connections. But that's fine. I still have all my pens. So
Did you get some sleep?
yes, because I
Okay,
can
that's
sleep nearly everywhere. If you just put me somewhere and you
Oh,
stand and I can sleep just like that. Thank God.
that's good. That's good.
There you go.
Um, but but you told you still have all your pens, but you did sell some, right, during the show, or not?
Well, it was a very good show. So
Yeah.
I also bought a lot of stuff and a
Okay.
lot of parts, actually.
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, yeah,
We will
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that later. Keep it a little bit surprise. Otherwise, everybody's just watching for this, and after that, they're tuning out. We don't want that.
Okay.
Let's first start the show with the first pen check of Douglas.
The pen check.
So, Douglas, what pen do you carry with you today?
Well, you kind of inspired me to make my first selection because of the Dutch Pen Show yesterday.
Yeah.
And here I have a Leonardo Momento Zero. Sorry, let's give the full name. Leonardo Italiana Officina Momento Zero Grande Jonathan Brooks Earth Magic 2 Dutch Pen Show 2021.
That's a long name.
That's a long name. I wrote that out actually with this pen, and I had to
Now you
refill
have
it.
to fill it up
And
again.
yeah, it takes 1.7 milliliters of ink, so that's a lot of words. Anyway, I think I have this. Let's do this. I know that I've got some
Oh,
B-roll
wow.
to show you, but this is a gorgeous pen. And I
Nice.
think first, the acrylic, it doesn't show up on camera as well as it should, and
Hmm.
certainly not as well as it does on
Oh,
by the
wow.
eye. But look at this. This is Jonathan Brooks,
Yeah.
and this pen combines three of my favorite things. First, Leonardo, because
Hmm.
I just adore Leonardo pens. Second, Jonathan Brooks and his incredible acrylics. And third, Joost Appelboom, because when I first saw this pen on Facebook, I thought, where am I going to get one of these limited editions? And I thought, well, that Joost guy, he's Dutch. I bet you he has the Dutch Pen Show pen. And I raced over to Appelboom, and there were like a couple of them left. And I immediately
Yes.
grabbed it, and it's one of my favorite pens of all time now. It's a 14 karat gold nib with, I showed you the special
Hmm.
engraving on it from the Dutch Pen Show, and it just writes like butter. It's just a fabulous, fabulous pen. I write with it almost every day.
It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Honestly, we were really proud of that piece.
Mm.
We
Yeah.
were really proud of creating this in a collaboration with the Italian manufacturer, an American pen maker as well. It was quite unique.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Jonathan Brooks fans out there, and I know that you've had
Hmm.
Jonathan on your show, and I watched it with interest.
Yes.
Uh, and he's got a lot of like the primary manipulation series. They get a bit loud for me, for my
Yeah.
personal taste, but this one hits me right in my sweet spot.
Yeah.
It's that gorgeous deep azure blue with bits of copper and things. It's just incredible. I've never seen an acrylic like it.
It's really nicely done. It's really nicely done. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for your pen check. I really appreciate it. It's an amazing pen check to start with, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mikael, tell us a little bit more about your pen check.
Well, compared to your pen, Douglas, it's kind of bored, but I thought a 224 will do with a beautiful double broad nib. As you can
Amazing.
see, is lapis
Nice.
lazuli, and can you see it? Yeah,
I
and
see
it's
it.
an old pen. It's actually older than you, Douglas, I think. Not
Yeah,
much,
wow,
but
that's old.
That's a really, really dangerous thing
Yeah.
to say on a podcast.
and it has a double broad nib, which is and as you all know, sometimes the lapis lazuli, or very often when you use it, sunscreen and all that, there's a color discoloration. The color will fade away, or it gets darker and all that, but not on this piece. So I'm very proud of it, and I just
I can
thought,
imagine. I really like the blue.
Yeah.
The blue is amazing. The lapis lazuli.
Yeah, yeah.
and
It wouldn't it
That's
be amazing if Mont Blanc makes the 149 in blue, just
well,
plain blue,
they did.
oof.
with the Oriental Express? You
Yes,
mean? Yes, but without all the engraving stuff on it,
of
just
course, yeah.
blue.
That's a
So
beautiful pen.
that's a beautiful one, and it writes perfectly. I had
Yeah.
to tune the nib a little bit, but I like it very much, and it's about 100 years old. That's pretty good,
Wow.
and
Yeah, I can confirm it is older than me.
Yeah.
a few weeks.
Okay.
So
It's gonna be an episode like this. Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
That's not a boring pen, Michael. Not at all.
no, well, yeah, no, it's not.
Beautiful pen.
You're absolutely right. Thank you.
And Michael, thank you so much for your amazing pen check. Let's go now straight to my pen check because I have something really special here. So today we're recording it Monday. It's the day after the pen show. And last Friday there was a unique launch of a collaboration between an American and a Canadian company in France, in Lyon, in one of the oldest pen stores of France. And it is the Esterbrook. It is the Esterbrook collaboration with Ferris Wheel Press. It's a lot of color. You really have to love it. But if you love colors, this is really something that you like. It has sparkles in it. Every color that exists is in this pen. It comes in this amazing, beautiful packaging that's also worth it with all these figures that come back anywhere. It's the Fairy Tales collection. I have to mention in the packaging, we have a small Ferris wheel press ink bottle, 20 milliliters, and it's just an amazing collaboration between these two brands.
Wow.
The nib on it, it is an Esterbrook nib. You cannot see it, but I will add some B footage on it. And yeah, on the Dutch Pen Show, it was just there. So on Friday, they launched it officially online everywhere. But on the Dutch Pen Show, there was this kind of unofficial release with all the stores that carry Esterbrook. They had it on their tables. And from my experience, it was selling like crazy. I've heard from the Esterbrook guys that they sold a lot of these pieces through their own website on the first day already. So it's a really popular model. And I can imagine that because both brands, both Esterbrook and Ferris Wheel Press, are amazing brands that are really popular right now as we speak. So if you think this is a wonderful pen and you want to add this to your collection, don't wait too long, because maybe if we are broadcasting this episode, it might already be sold out with us, because we only have a few left. We only have 3 pieces left, so it could sell out like tomorrow. I don't know, but at least we have the pictures, right?
Good.
So that was my pen check.
Wow.
A nice one.
It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful
and that is
piece.
it's a limited edition, right? So when it sells out, it doesn't come back.
Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's a special edition, just limited pieces. I don't think it's numbered. I don't think it's numbered. Let me check for a number. No, there's no number on it. So let's call it a special edition piece. Michael,
Yeah.
I have a question from you for our previous guest. It was Joe from the Gentleman Stationer, and he had an amazing question for you, because the question is, what do you think about triangular grip sections, like, you know, what you have on the Lamy Safari, All-Star, the Twisby pens, you know, things like that. So what do you think about those triangular grip sections?
Just to be short, I love it. I have some 360s from Omas, and I have, know it,
360 from Omas.
I have all colors from the Lamy Safari or All-Star. And I usually carry one with me. And that's very nice to ride, actually. And then also my kids, they learn how to handle a pen. And it's good. From an like a design thing, it looks, I think round grip sections look better, just to have a look on it. But I'm a big fan of Lamy Safari's All-Stars and the 360 from Omas. So good question, actually. It's a nice one. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Douglas, what do you think?
I will take the opposite viewpoint. I think the triangular grip, even though it fits my grip, because you have to have almost the classic grip for it to work, like with a Safari. And it does work with my grip, but it feels like driving a bike with training wheels. You know, it forces your grip into that. So for young people learning how to write properly, although there are some people that will write with a pen like this, right?
Of course.
With the thumb over grip like that.
We've seen crazy grips here in the store.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable sometimes.
And that's because maybe you guys are too young to remember, but when I grew up in school, we were taught the proper way to hold a pencil and a pen, and we graduated to pens, and especially fountain pens, only after you learned the proper grip and all that kind of thing. So kids today don't get that, and so they will hold the pen whatever way feels natural, and that's good for them, right? We're supposed to allow all kinds of grips, but for me, as an old guy, there's only one proper way to hold a pen. It's like when you're painting with a paintbrush, you don't paint with a paintbrush like this. You paint with a paintbrush like this. If you've done any art at all, you know how to hold a paintbrush properly. So there's a proper way, and then there's the other ways. So the triangular grip forces the proper way, so that's a good thing, but I don't need it. So not fun.
That's why you don't like it. That's why I love you so much. You're always honest, you know. It's just, you're not talking around it. You just say how it is. You just don't like it, then you don't like it. That's it.
You should see some of the things that I say in my videos that actually end up on the editing room floor. They don't say it.
We're not editing this out at all. We're not editing anything out.
I think as long as people write, I don't care if they hold their pens like whatever they do.
That's true.
And if they write nice words, no stupid things, then it's just kind of beautiful. So
and if a triangular grip gets more people writing, then wonderful. But for me, not so much.
Yeah, true. 1 second, my tea is ready. I'm sorry.
Oh,
no problem. Get your tea, Michael.
That's my job as the co-host, to get everybody's tea and coffee, I think.
We're not editing this out either. This is so much fun. We're just keeping this in, you know?
Uh-oh. I planned for some things to say that might end up on the editing room floor. But,
It was just
No
but he's
problem.
back.
So from my
It
tea,
was-
the tea was ready already, but I forgot the alarm.
No problem at all, Michael. All right, Michael, let's talk a little bit about the Dutch Pen Show. You already, mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah.
So yesterday was the Dutch Pen Show. You had a horrible way back home because of some train problems here in the Netherlands. Sorry for that. I had some family members involved there as well, waiting in a train that was standing still somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, sorry for that. But how was the Dutch Pen Show?
Beautiful. It was honestly great. In Germany, we say it was like a Klassentreffen, when class members meet after a few years and all that. So you're very familiar with all of them, with people, collectors, vendors. The city is beautiful. This time we spent one more day there, and it was just fantastic. And also,
You had a crazy extra day, right? Because Saturday, how do I? Well, maybe you can explain it best, Michael. What was going on Saturday in the city?
In the city, where we're just walking by, and then it was just beautiful. And then all the Grachten, all the small little rivers were filled with people dancing on the boat, celebrating all kind of sexual experiences, as you can say that. And it was just fantastic. So Bianca and me...
This was not planned, Michael. We did not plan this.
No,
it
not
was
for
just
us.
by accident. But it was going on.
The whole city was dancing. Can you believe that? Beautiful weather. We immediately had some beers, and it was just gorgeous. Good music, good company, just a great experience. And it was just it was like a gay parade, you can say, or it was, but it was very familiar, very nice, and touching. It was very good. So this is how it starts.
The Dutch Pen Show is going to have a floor show from now on.
Definitely.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yours, we should think about a boat. Next year, we should have a boat there.
I will think about that. Maybe that's a good one.
This would work.
Yes, that would work. And I would see you in such a crazy outfit for sure.
I don't care.
I'm ready for that. All right. Let's go back to the pen show, please, before I get images in my mind that I don't want to have. And, I cannot sleep at night. I don't want that. So the Dutch Pen Show, Michael, it was the first year that we had to do 2 rooms.
Yes.
How did you experience that, the 2 rooms show?
First, I was concerned because usually when you're on a pen show and it has 2 rooms, one is bigger, one is smaller. The biggest room is always crowded and the smaller one is not. But here we found out that it was really, it doesn't matter. People were strolling around. In between, there was this beautiful area where you can have drinks and some seats, some tables where when you went there, you saw people writing, chatting, laughing. So that was fantastic. And in the rooms, to be honest, there were good air. And when we had that big room, the air was a little bit not so good to breathe. So this time it was much more convenient and not as packed as the last time.
I was really happy with that as well, because I know from last year there was like half an hour of just people had to stand like this because it was just too crowded. And now it was more balanced, and there was a moment that it was crowded.
Yes.
But it was really short, and people found their way. Luckily, also to both rooms.
Yeah.
I'm telling everybody, most of the visitors were Dutch, and we Dutch people, we pay for a certain amount of tables to visit. We want to see every table. So, we just walk around and see every table that we want to see, and just see everyone who's on the show. So I was really, really happy with seeing this going on,
Yeah.
and that everybody got their visitors on their table.
True. There was some time when even my table was totally packed. So some people were standing around chatting and trying pens, and I did a lot of repairs, which was beautiful. A lot of people know me now for years, and they brought their precious pens. For some people, they're not precious, but if you know, if you have a pen 50, 60 years old, and for example, Douglas wrote his first love letter with it, so it's maybe a crappy pen, but it's touching.
Yeah.
And if you there and you fix it when, say, 10 people are gathering around, that's just beautiful. And you fix it, and now they're happy for the next 50 years. So that was fantastic.
What for the people that don't know, what did you brought to the show? What is your assortment?
I'm into vintage Mont Blancs, modern Mont Blancs, and all kind of parts. And as you know, I love good nibs. So if I get a nib, I try to improve the writing feeling, what I think, and most of the time it will be okay and better most of the time. But that's it. So a bunch of nice stuff.
That's good. That's great. Yeah. Douglas, did you visit any pen shows?
I have not. I started my fountain pen collection just before the pandemic hit. So I'm a relative newbie to this.
Ah, okay.
And so I had lots of Zoom meetings with our local group here, the Calgary Pen Club, which is great, getting to know everybody virtually. And we've just, in the last, since January, started face-to-face meetings. So I joined my first pen club meetings starting in January. Now we're meeting once or twice a month, which is terrific, sharing all these things. But I have not been to.
How many people are attending these kind of pen meetings?
We get between 15 and 20 people.
Oh, wow.
And we get together, and our pen club leader, the Grand Imperial Poobah, he tends to push a number of pens on me. Here, take this one, like this, try this one on your channel, review this one. So I end up coming away with more pens than I came with, which is marvelous because the resources are incredible. I mean, I don't have access to a lot of terrific, high-end pens. And so borrowing other people's pens and not breaking them, with, the thing you got to do is not break them, is fantastic. So the resources the club here has have been a real boon for me. But I've not been to a pen show.
Can you convince Douglas to come to the next pen show next year?
Douglas, you can try them all out. There's paper.
I have to come to.
There's ink.
Is it in Utrecht every year?
Yeah.
Utrecht?
Yes, and we dance on a boat. Yep. Promise. But
my wife will want that.
Oh, she will love it.
To dance on a boat. Yeah.
No,
Maybe
you
not
can try
with me,
these
but,
pens. You can try these pens.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is a part of being friends and have all the same hobby is, if you don't know something about a pen, there's always someone who has the knowledge.
No.
And that's fantastic. And you don't have to Google it. You just ask Osman, Tom, and all the others. Just you shout, and it's which year? And they say, oh, yeah, it was 1959.
They know more than Google knows.
Oh, yes.
I believe that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, and that's one of the great things about having a YouTube channel as well, because I'll say, I don't know much about this pen, and then I get flooded with, I'll tell you about that pen.
True.
It came from here, and it has this provenance and all that. So I learn a lot from my members and subscribers telling me, because, again, I'm not a newbie to fountain pens, but because I grew up with them, but I only started collecting and doing my YouTube channel 3 years ago. So.
Yeah. There's
I
something that
claim
I also
ignorance.
really, also something that I really like about the pen show, at least the Dutch pen show, is, um, the talking with the people behind all the pens. It's, of course, the pens are great, but it's also amazing to meet all the people, behind the pens. Um, the evening before the pen show, the evening after the pen show, all the gathering, that whole community together. It's really a thing, and that's also something that's, yeah. Most people, if they are going to their work and start about the nib of their, Mont Blanc 144, yeah, it might get a little bit strange there. But on a pen show, you can just do that. You can just
Yeah.
go full geek on a certain part of your pen, and everybody would love it. And indeed, if you don't know a little thing about a pen, you can just ask somebody, and together you can find the answer. So that's, yeah, that's also something that I really like about it.
Yesterday I was talking to someone and he told me about his father and his passion for good things like watches and all that. So there was a similarity. So we were standing there thinking about our gone dads, and we were both crying. Can you believe that?
Wow,
With someone you
that's
hardly
wonderful.
know, but you share a passion, and then you remember, oh, there was somebody who taught you to good things.
Yeah,
And
no, it's
that was
that
very
connection.
touching, actually. So, and this
Yeah,
will,
Yeah.
yeah.
I never cried on a Zoom meeting. Otherwise, because the connection was bad, of course, and you get out of it. There was that's very good. That's always when people are coming together. And in this particular place, they share the same hobby. And some people from outside and think, oh yeah, how many pens do you have? 100, 10, 20, whatever. It's always too much for them. And on that place, there's always one missing and you need another one, even if you have hundreds, thousands or whatever. And that's pretty awesome. And I found I do that, Douglas, a little bit longer than you, for about 30 years. So I started early. But I found very, very close and good friends through that hobby. And wherever you go, and in which country you're going, and I'm a part of Special Olympics, so I always travel when it's like a sporting event for people. And wherever I go, I always meet people who are collecting fountain pens, and I know through Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. So it's just good. So you should
It's
come
What's
to a pen
amazing.
interesting,
show.
Yeah.
what's interesting is that when you talk to people about what their favorite pen in their collection, no matter whether they have hundreds or whatever, that one or two or three special pens might not be the most expensive or the most elaborate. It's always that one that has been imbued with that personal touch. It
Yeah.
it has a story to it. How I obtained the pen, or who it came from, who passed it down through the generations, that kind of thing. It
Yeah.
always has some special important memory to a person,
Yeah.
regardless of the pen. So that's always
Yeah.
something that
That's what I
everybody
really
seems to
love
share.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's true. Yeah, you mainly sell vintage pens, or you also collect mainly vintage pens. Why are vintage pens better than modern pens?
They're not better. to be honest, they're not better, but they're different. And say the history of a pen. Like you have one of these. It's a 322. It's very tiny. It's very small, and it's from the 40s, whatever. And it's still there. Can you believe that? And when they came with this one on the market, they had maybe some marketing experts telling you whatever, but it's just she. I don't know these marketing things anymore, but the pen is still there. And if it can tell a story, can you imagine how fantastic that could be.
Yeah.
Who wrote with
if it could talk,
and
or if it could write by itself.
yes. But to be honest, I have two kind of things in my collection, and they're not small. I do have vintage pens. I really love them to replace parts, to make them new or good as new, to work with it. But what you do, Joost, is the same. You're selling vintage pens. They're not yet vintage, but wait another, let me see, well, wait another 50 years. This one is one of my latest pickup next to the Orient Express. It's in 80 days around the world, made of ebony. The first time I was traveling to India was when I was 11 years old. So I can tell a whole lot of stories. And marketing will tell you in 80 days around the world and Mont Blanc and blah, 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 blah. But that's she. In 50 years from now, or in 80 years from now, Douglas is still living because he's eternal.
Most probably, yes.
But he looks like that. But I will not be there. And my grandchildren, whatever, they will say, well, in 80 days around the world, we don't know, we don't care. This was our great-grandfather's pen, and he signed his $1 billion contract with it.
That would be
well,
amazing
I didn't,
if you would sign it.
Who knows? So what you do is the same. The sellers who were selling the 322 somewhere in Hamburg, because it's a Mont Blanc, they didn't expect that it's still around after 80 years. So, and there.
But it's really fascinating that a product exists that long.
Fantastic.
And it still functions. It still functions.
Yeah. And it doesn't lose money, by the way.
Oh, that's
so
also
most of the time.
That's also a good thing.
Yeah. So there's nothing much that it's no, that's wrong to say vintage pens are better or modern pens are better. I
know. I was just teasing you. I was just, trying to get an answer out of you, like that you were saying that, vintage is better.
No.
I like both. That's it. Yeah. No, I know that. But vintage pens do indeed have this little extra storytelling behind it instead of modern pens. Douglas, do you have any vintage pens in your collection?
Yeah, quite a few now. When I started my channel, I was doing inexpensive new pens, just because a lot of people can't get into this market without, they can't spend a couple $100 on a pen. So they're going to be buying a $20 pen. There's no question. So my videos of those $20 pens get a lot of views. But then a friend of mine said, on YouTube, people like to see something go through a process, how you fixed your kitchen cabinets, whatever. But with you, why don't you take an old pen that doesn't work and make it work and show the process? Because people are fascinated by that kind of thing.
That's cool, yeah.
I'm good at tinkering with things, but I've never fixed a fountain pen before. I've refurbished a couple of pens for a friend that belonged to his dad, and they were vintage. But then I started seeking out some pens at various antique stores and online and so forth. And I've fallen into the rabbit hole of fixing vintage fountain pens. I thought fountain pens themselves were a rabbit hole, but this is another deeper rabbit hole. And I've fallen in love with the vintage Parker Vacuumatics from the late 30s and early 40s. When they became Aerometrics, not so much, but I love these Vacuumatics. And so this is my favorite one. This one's from 1935. Wonder if I can put my lens on again here and show you this beautiful pearlescent burgundy. And this is a double jeweled, even the jewel has that, focus in. The jewel has that striping on it on both ends. And the nib is 14 karat gold Parker Arrow dual tone, and it writes like it's just gorgeous. I write with this pen every single day. I try not to carry it with me because, well, it's celluloid and it's vintage.
Of course.
But I had to get another one, and I had to get another one.
Of course.
And I had to get another one. And so I have all
You can never have
colors.
enough. You can never have enough.
Never have enough. But
No.
You're hoarding pens.
So I really appreciate Michael's answer that the vintage pen isn't better or worse. It is different.
Yeah.
And there's no filling system today like the Vacuumatic. They just don't make them like that anymore. And there's no vintage nibs like vintage nibs because they don't make them like that anymore. But one of the things that I found exciting is taking something that doesn't write and making it right again.
Yeah.
And then having that in your hand, and now I'm continuing a legacy.
Yeah.
And your mind does go back. Well, boy, I wonder what was written with this the last time it was in someone's hands. So the process is something that I really, really love. But I think the whole idea of better or worse, it doesn't really work.
It's not a question.
It is different.
Yeah.
They are very much different, and they are built to last. These, especially these Vacuumatics, some of the old pens that are from the first years of plastics, from the 30s and the 40s, not so much. They become very brittle and they fall apart in your hands. But these Parker Vacuumatics were built like tanks.
Yeah.
And so I just love them, and I love collecting them. I love restoring them, and writing with them. So
they didn't know better these days. They were just using good materials if they had it.
Well, and I actually have a question for Michael.
Sure.
I know you were going to ask me to ask a question for Michael maybe later, but it's on this topic. I've had a number of my subscribers ask me this question over and over again, and I really don't know the answer. I've got an idea, but why are modern gold pens not like vintage gold pens? Gold nibs.
The nibs.
They can't make a modern gold nib the way they used to make them. Is what the question is. Why can't they do that?
They can actually, but
they don't. But they don't.
They don't. Yeah, because Montblanc made like a flex pen.
Yeah.
And I was into that process for years. And they at first they asked me, Mike, do you have any vintage pens who has a flex nib? Because we have a customer in Asia and he would love to have a Montblanc flex nib. So I brought them a bunch. I never got it back, by the way. And it turns out at the end, it's also the gold, what they use has a different parts are inside of the gold. So, and most of the time they're not possible to recreate the gold mixture anymore. So, but if they try, and the first versions were very, very nice and very close to the old ones, but the people didn't use them properly. So they had to make it stiffer because we're used to it for generations to write with a ballpoint pen and putting some pressure and, and some force in it. And I think that's, you can't use it anymore. Even I'm not really into flexing. I admire that art, but I'm not into that. So maybe it's
something special.
Yeah,
that was my speculation. That is that people have been for generations trained to carve their initials into the paper with their ballpoint pen.
Yeah,
and they'll just destroy a vintage pen nib.
But this will change. I saw also on the Dutch Pen Show beautiful people writing beautiful words with beautiful nibs, and I was just really.
There were a lot of calligraphy. There were a lot of
Yeah.
calligraphy people on the show. Yes,
And young
yes, yes.
people,
They
and
were.
young.
Thank
I'm
you.
51 years old,
Thank
and
you.
but they're around. Oh yeah. But they're around. They're hardly 20. You know.
Yes, there were a lot of young people.
So
There were a lot of young people.
that's a very good sign, actually. I've been to Katowice Pen Show, and the same. There were 15, 16-year-old kids who writing, journaling, and, say 20 years back, the pen shows were like Douglas and me were the young guys,
Yeah.
So, and now
but there's a all new generation, of course.
Of course.
And, talking about a new generation.
New products.
Oh, no, that's maybe a little bit strange. But I wanted to talk about some new products. New generation, new products. We have some new products, non-vintage yet products. So they become vintage in 50 years. Future vintage products that we have here. It is
Kaweco.
The one and only Kaweco Dutch Pen Show 2021 edition. The Tulip Fields. Look at that. Look at this amazing box. Here it says, the place to meet with like-minded people. And that's what a Dutch Pen Show is. Where's the Dutch Pen Show? Here's the Dutch Pen Show. So let's have a look what's inside. It is the Kaweco All Sport in yellow and black. So, Wiz Khalifa could also made it with his black and yellow song. Kaweco Sport. And look, if I review the nib, it has a black colored nib on it. And the engraving on the pen says Dutch Pen Show and Kaweco All Sport, of course. Let me show you the Dutch Pen Show. I don't know if it's sharp enough. But this is a really amazing project that we started with Kaweco already a year ago. It was quite a long project because we wanted to have this yellow goldish color for this year, and we had to reserve this color because a lot of stores bringing out Kaweco pens in kind of different colors, and this color was already bespoken with store. And we were like, no, wait. We want to have this color for the show. So we kind of hijacked the color. And, now it's a special edition for the pen show. Only 500 pieces are made of this color. And they're selling really fast. So it's the same as with the Esbrook Verswood press. It's not me selling a product. This is really true. If you don't want to miss out on this, buy it fast. Because otherwise you will regret it, and it's gone, and you have to buy it on eBay for twice the price or so. So, the Kaweco Sport Dutch Pen Show 2023 Tulip Fields edition. And what do you guys think?
Kaweco Sport is one of the best pens you can get for in a under a certain amount, actually.
Yeah.
Money.
They are so useful. Practical pens, especially practical fountain pens, that will fit in your shirt and become a full-size pen instantly. That's the other one that I like that is like that is the Pilot E95S. True. That is a short pen and becomes a full-length pen instantly. Just
it's a really great pocket pen.
And also the history of the Kaweco Sport is tremendous. So I think it's born in the 20s or something around that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's still there with some small little breaks. And
your name brother, he revived it amazingly, Mr. Goodberley.
True story. I know him for years now, Michael, and. When I was 18 years old, I was working for, it's like a cleaner who cleans up rooms if somebody died and all that. And one day he gave me a call and he said, Mike, get in your small little Panda, it was a car, and come here near Heidelberg. I'm from that area near Heidelberg. And I can't pay you, but you can get what is here because we're going to throw it away anyway. So I went there, and there was a family, and they used to be connected with Kaweco, and they throw out the fountain pens. It was in the 90s. So, and the 80s, I'm sorry. They throw out everything. So I collected everything in my box, in my car. It looks like a box. And years later, Michael Gutberlet I met, and he made, the first time I met him, he made some Fumi pens, from this artificial material. They were ugly as hell. And then he said, no, he's going to do some Kaweco sports for Manufactum, and I said, I do have different Kawecos, like this one, a whole box of it, and they're worth actually nothing. You can have them. So there were students inside and all that, and a whole box full of Kawecos. And
you gave it to him.
Yeah. And I'm very happy how they're doing. And they're great pens. And all of my children's, I just have two, as far as I know. They have also Kawecos and hobbies.
No, but of course, Kaweco is an amazing pen.
Yeah.
So that's why we are so happy with this collaboration with them, between the Dutch Pen Show and Kaweco. That's amazing.
Yeah. And they're open. They listen to your to their customers.
Yes, they really do.
And also his kids are doing gorgeous and great. So that's fantastic. Good brand.
Yeah.
Nice pen, by the way.
I would like to mention. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Another pen that I would like to mention is another Dutch Pen Show exclusive. Doug, you already have one from a previous year, but this
like I might
year
get another.
we have something completely different. I don't know if this is your taste because it's completely the opposite of what you have, because this is what we got. It is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Dutch Pen Show edition of 2023. The materials made by Jonathan Brooks of the Carolina Pen Company, and it's made with green, yellowish, white shades with some sparkles in it, and it truly is amazing. We made it in 3 different trims: the silver, the yellow gold, and the ruthenium trim, and they're really amazing.
Is that a Momento Zero Grande 2 with
yes,
ink
so it is based on the Momento Zero Grande 2.0. So it has the ink window in it, which is pretty nice. It has an ebonite feet, yellow. It has a gold nib on it with the logo of the Dutch Pen Show on it again. And I think that Salvatore from Leonardo did an amazing job on this one again, and Jonathan on the material, because it's just, you can look at it for ages, and you will still see
think these Leonardos are some of the best pens in the world, I think, and what Salvatore is doing at Leonardo is incredible. And those ebonite feeds that they make in-house in Naples, he's in Naples, right? But those ebonite feeds are not only wonderful and great ink flow, but they look gorgeous as well, the way he shaped them. I just love the look of it. Yeah.
Also, the pens look like summer.
Yeah, no, like
fresh. They look fresh and they're beautiful. They're really gorgeous.
And they match the Appelboom colors as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
The Tulip
it was not even on purpose.
Not even on purpose.
Look, the Tulip fields.
Yeah.
You see them, right?
Yeah.
You see them.
Yeah.
All right. Last product that I would like to mention is also a Dutch Pen Show exclusive, because, fountain pens are all fun, but they don't write without ink. So with Robert Oster, we have a long-term relationship from the start of the Dutch Pen Show. And we made a special ink again for the Dutch Pen Show. It is the Robert Oster Tulip Fields edition of the Dutch Pen Show 2023. It is a green color ink with a shimmering in it. So if you like this, You can grab it. It's on our website. You can buy it there. And if you're there anyway, you can also buy the Kaweco if it's not sold out yet, or the Leonardo. Leonardo is limited to only 100 pieces. So, it's also something that will sell out, within a few weeks, within a few months, but it will sell out really quick. I have to mention that it's not only available through Appelboom, but also through the other hosts of the pen show. Mm-hmm. So Akkerman in Amsterdam is offering it, Fontoplumo in Delft, and of course our Belgian friends Sakura Gallery in Diest. They also have these pens. The Robert Oster ink is only available through Appelboom, but the pens you can also get with, the other retailers if you don't like Appelboom. I cannot imagine that, but if you don't like Appelboom, you can buy it with them. That's completely fine with me. All right, we're almost at the end of the show. Douglas, you already had a question for Mikael, but do you want to ask him a different question, or was that the question that you wanted to ask him?
That was the question, but I do have a follow-up.
Okay, of course.
I tend to hack away at my pens to whatever makes them work, and whatever I destroy, I just don't put that up on a YouTube video because it's embarrassing.
Of course not.
But where did you go to school to learn how to do this, how to fix these pens?
Fantastic. I learned from the old guys, to be honest. And
older than Joost. Yeah.
A little
bit older.
Yeah. And but most of the time you learn it when you try to fix something. Sometimes you have, I don't have it right now with me, but you have to make your own tools because they're not made anymore. Or you see old drawings from tools and you just thought, it looks like a fork something, and you can just put something on it. So you have to be creative. But I was 17 years old and I destroyed my first Mont Blanc. It was 146 celluloid, and I destroyed it. And from there on, you just think about books. Books. I forgot to mention books. Yeah. There are great people who wrote over the last decades brilliant books where you can just, if you want to fix a vacuumatic from Parker, you go to these British or these American guys and you buy a book and you see that how to do that. And but try and error is the most important thing. Even if you tune nibs. Yesterday I told one guy, he was just about 20 years old, and he said, how you do that? And I said, you have to ruin a lot of nibs before you know when to stop.
That's the best thing. Yeah.
Because sometimes you think, now it writes perfectly, I can do it a little bit better, and then you ruin it. Or you remove something and then it's cracked. And it's your own fault. And it's just like a karma and all that. I do repairs in the mornings because I found out in the evening, like after 6, 7 o'clock, I can't do it anymore because I just break them. I don't know how it is, but
you cannot control yourself. You're so strong.
I don't know. Maybe when I slept good, and I always do, and I wake up in the morning, I can do it best. And the best thing is, if I can't do it, I know somebody else who can do it, and vice versa. Somebody. Yesterday morning, it was like that. I was on my table, sitting up. I came at 9, and some other people came at 8. So when I was there was a big gathering around. I said, can you help me with that? Can you help me with that? Can you help me? I told you, I brought you that pen. I said, yes, I do. So the first few minutes, I still have ink on my fingers. There was doing some things for my friends and all, I call them friends, and all some other vendors. Try and error. That's the best way to describe it. Do it. It's nice. Better than not doing it.
Very nice. I break a lot of $20 pens.
That's the best way.
And I broke a lot of €1,000 pens. It's the same. At the end, it's not the money. It's the same. You're really Oh, you think, oh man, Michael,
But
this, that.
then the learning is more expensive, Mikhail. So you might
Yeah.
want to start with breaking some cheaper pens.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I think you have to do that. Just break something once in a while to get grounded. That you can't.
I'm
That you
not
don't
going
think,
to give
oh,
you anything at all now.
I'm the messiahs of the pens. Ha ha.
This pen, I'm not going to give you. I'm not going to give you.
Yeah.
Try to break this one.
Oh yeah.
All right.
No, you.
Mikael, we really have to, wrap this up because otherwise it's going to be too late. What is your question for our next guest?
My next question is, what do you write? What will be the last thing what you write on a beautiful piece of paper before you die? What sentence or what conclusion about your life, and what do you do? What do you write down?
All right, I will ask this to Dante Del Vecchio from Pineider, so
no,
he can
say hi from him.
Yes.
Is he up next?
Yes, he's up next, so he can already think about this if he's watching right now, what he would write down before he passes away. That would be that's an amazing question to start a podcast with, talking about that. That's fun. Thank you.
That's part
I can tell you what I would write.
And
I can tell you what I would write. I would write,
All right, guys, thank you so much for this amazing episode. Douglas, I see you next week with Dante on the show. I hope that we were going to have an amazing time. You will be on the show here for 5 episodes long, so I hope that I will not bore you and we can just have some fun. Michael, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope to see you next year again on the Dutch Pen Show, maybe earlier somewhere. I don't know.
You will.
And it was amazing.
Mikael, lovely to meet you. Thank you so much.
Douglas,
marvelous.
You should come to Utrecht. We will have at least a beer.
Yes.
Or wine. Yes. Or Kaweco tea, whatever you prefer.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching us through our YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe now. And if you're listening to us through one of the podcast stations, just follow us so you won't miss out on an episode. And next week, we are back with Douglas and Dante. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.